Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot. Now, I haven't done one of these degree readings, as I call them, for quite some time. So this is a reading for the fact that the Sun on the 16th of January will be at 26 degrees Capricorn. Shortly after that, I think Venus will be passing over 26 degrees Capricorn as well in a few days' time. I haven't checked when. There's an idea. And I've lost my ephemeris. Yeah, so Venus will be passing over there in a few days as well. Where this reading can also be useful is for anyone who has 26 degrees Capricorn in their chart as the placement of a planet. Possibly even a house cusp, but yeah, stick with your planets. So I want to look first. Let's just check when Venus is there. If I look in the right column, it will help. Venus has already passed across it. No, it hasn't. No, Venus passes across it on the 29th of January. So hopefully this will be relevant then as well. Then again, looking at the cards, maybe not. But what I first want to look at is the actual symbols of the degree. So you can ask a question before this reading. It'll be a little while before I get to the reading. It's aimed as a collective reading, but basically it's for whoever finds it. So if you're watching it, it might be for you. And if you don't watch it, well, then you can't hear a word I'm saying, so what am I talking about? So let's have a look. The Chandra symbol, or the inside degrees for 26 degrees Capricorn, which of course is the 27th degree of Capricorn, is a long mirrored hallway lit with candles. Now that image immediately springs to mind, well, many things. First thing that I think of is Wonderland, through the looking glass, and that there's this pathway that you can go down, but there is mirrors all along. So at any point on this pathway, you can wander off and pass through the looking glass. There's the optical illusions that corridor would create, especially at no point does it say it's a straight corridor or a twisting corridor or anything. So there can be multiple optical illusions that can be going on, deceptions, illusions, but also multiple mirrors showing multiple aspects of yourself. Now this could be in many different forms, because it could be many aspects of yourself internally, or many aspects of yourself that you are showing to the world, seeing yourself through other people's eyes. And let's face it, we are not all seen the same by everybody we meet, because if you look at somebody else, it might be someone that you like and somebody else doesn't like them, or it might be someone you don't like and someone else does like them. So everybody's got very different views of other people, therefore everyone has very different views of us. And that corridor implies sort of a growing awareness of that, assuming that you're not passing through the looking glass itself. This is before I even read the interpretation of this symbol. But I think it's interesting because the thrust of the symbols for the degree imply that this is a receptive time. And I would like to ask, what precisely are you receiving? And if you're receiving wisdom from the universe, fantastic. But are you sure you're receiving wisdom from the universe? One childhood story, I think I've mentioned it on a previous reading, that I remember is about this enchanted dressing table. And, you know, one of those old-fashioned 3 mirrors, so one central mirror and then 2 that can fold in on wings, and there would be your true reflection, there would be your evil reflection, and there would be your good reflection. And by looking in this mirror, this child gave life to its good and its evil reflections. And then they came out of the mirror, and only one of them was ever visible at any one time, which include the original child that looked in the mirror. So sometimes he was invisible and his evil reflection was, or her, I think it might have been a girl, their evil reflection was running around making mischief. And then other times, still invisible, but the good reflection was going around in the world, you know, doing miracles and good deeds and helping old ladies across the road and all sorts. And it was very much, for a young child, it was quite a self-exploration story. Because I was 9, 10, maybe not even that old. And I was like, oh, what would my evil reflection be like? What would my good reflection be like? It really sort of inspired a lot of thought in me at the time. And I've always had this fascination with mirrors. They're sometimes good for scrying, but they're very good at revealing things thought-wise. So here's the interpretation of the inside degree. Purpose gazes right down the middle and sees that the way is clear. The internal adversary lurks under, around and through things and is supremely doubtful of everything you see and know. Doesn't that cast a light on what I just said? This only provokes the purposive one to become higher and mightier, more commanding and domineering, which in turn incites the adversary to more radical sabotage by denying your own worth in a savage fashion. Each side pushes the other over the edge. You are karmically at a crossroads, trying to emphasize strong selfhood and its inevitable shadow of pervasive doubts and negations, learning and discovering arduously how to stay with yourself, even while going against oneself, and thereby outlasting the adversary and proving that one can do the impossible, even when one's own fiercest critic when one is one's own fiercest critic and hardest to impress audience. I think in the light of what I'd already said, that speaks volumes, doesn't it? This 26 degrees Capricorn, and this choice is going to come up again, and we had it last year. Saturn and Jupiter both crossed this point, and quick glance at my ephemeris, I think Pluto is yet to cross this point as well. Let's have a look where Pluto is. Yeah, Pluto doesn't get there until the very end of February, the 28th of February. So let's have a look at what the Sabian symbol for this is. I've got the let me see, the Omega symbol, and if anyone knows where the Omega symbols come from, do drop me a comment down below. But a group of fish at the edge of a pool, they are looking up at someone. So again, there's this sense of looking for something external, like looking at the reflections in the mirror. And I'm definitely taking that side because I think there is a it seems to be showing a lack of internal searching for the truth, the way forward, how you feel, how you think, the looking for some form of external source. Because all those mirrors did was, as it said, create an argument between your purpose and your adversary. Now, the Sabian symbol is pilgrims climbing the steep steps leading to a mountain shrine. Now, what this says is that if we are sincere seekers, we must then for a time move away from our busy lives and struggle upwards to seek peace. Even though we love the dance of life, the sensuality of touch, the thrill of engagement and the risk of dangerous conflict, we also love the music that makes us dance. For the pilgrim, that love is the stronger force for a while and causes them to walk away from the busy marketplace to find a mountaintop somewhere so that they can have a fuller experience of the great musician. So the commentary I have here carries on. At some point in life, we need to discover whether we are parading false virtue by only pretending to the sacred condition of a would-be pilgrim, or whether we really do have sufficient perseverance to overcome all the temptations and challenges which are inherent in any spiritual path of self-discovery and improvement. Often the mountain is used to symbolize the pyramiding reality brought about by the inner realization that occurs when we find complete harmony between our lifestyle expression and our chosen ideals and values. This is not about gaining satisfaction through superficial allegiances to a particular track of spiritual practices or religiosity. It's about climbing higher and ever higher towards a place of ultimate realization. Now that in itself, before I go on to read any more, that is a beautiful image. And does show that what we have the chance of being on the path on at the moment, all the politics that's going on in the world aside, all the claiming tribes aside, is something that I've struggled with recently. It's so very easy to be angry and see the adversary and see the opponent, but there's a question that has really come to my mind, that came to my mind before January the 6th. If we are here on a spiritual journey to improve, do we need the world to be a better place from that viewpoint? Now, from a political viewpoint, from a day-to-day life viewpoint, of course we do. Of course we do. It is that we have to keep striving to make the world a better place. However, from the spiritual development viewpoint, yeah, of course you have to keep striving, but it's the journey, it's the striving itself that holds the lessons, that holds the evolution, that holds the growth and the advancement. So although we may be wanting to make the world a better place and be striving to make the world a better place, it's probably a good idea and a harsh reality that we will never succeed. Because if we was to make paradise on earth, what happens to the souls who are yet to incarnate here? Because they want their turn at learning their lessons. So it's that's one area where I find my spirituality and my politics sort of hitting head on one another. Because you can say that philosophy of non-attachment that you hear so much about, there's one way of translating it is the spiritual person going, why bother, I'm going to look within. But there is the old magical adage, as above so below, as within so without. And you can improve within by improving your without, and you can improve your without by improving your within. And that non-attachment is at once both healthy and an excuse to not do a lot. It's a very fine line to walk. I'm going to bring the cards up now. So, let me see if I can make that bigger. Because, there we go. Now, I've used my new vice versa deck, which is two-sided, and I've put reversed cards in it. My other two decks should not have reversed cards. I have the Manga Tarot and the Lightseers Tarot. But a reversed card is nonetheless sneaked in, which is really interesting. There's this hint, especially clarified here with the Fool card. These trading cards, they've got tiny little stickers upon them that I have attributed various cards to trading cards to the tarot cards, and then I completely forgot that I did it. Absolutely and utterly forgot, and I planned to do it again, and then rooting through a box I found these, and I was like, oh, I've already done it. I completely forgot. Who knew? But anyway, you've seen these in the degree readings before, but I just thought I'd tell you that story again. Now, at the middle of this reading, we have the Two of Cups, which I really, really like. Let's see if I can make this one bigger as well. So I really, really like these, this Two of Cups. But with it is a card that isn't even a tarot card, but I put it in for its themes. We have Rogue wielding Thor's hammer, representing here creation, representing theft and projection. Either side of this reading, we have the Hanged Man, both from the Vice Versa Tarot and from the Light Seers. And there's this, whatever answers that you are seeking, they're not there yet. So there is an element of, think about all those fish gathered at the end of the pond looking up at someone outside of the water. Wait and see. We're at the beginning of things at the moment. There has been enough sorrow. We've got the Five of Swords here. And I'm really, really drawn to the person on the ground. The one who is obviously, who has been defeated. The one, well, it's not that obvious. They could just be exhausted after the fight. They may well be the companion to this person. But it just feels to me like the one who is stood up is taking false credit. Because if this is someone who is exhausted, defeated and heartbroken, then I still feel energy for them. And if they are the one who's put the work in and done the fight, then this other person is making false claims. And this is a situation that is going to go fast. We've got Quicksilver here with the Eight of Wands, and did I not see the Eight of Wands somewhere else as well? No, I've got the Seven here. So Eight of Wands, Eight of Pentacles. Everyone's trying to craft their reputation to be the best that it possibly be. So Eight of Pentacles, Six of Wands. So there's a victory. But again, this is another alternate reality Marvel card with Doctor Doom as the Six of Wands, the victory, but it's an alternate version where he's absolutely and utterly loved. Although, think about it, in his home country, he is supposed to be absolutely and utterly loved. But it just seems that the work seems to be going into the being loved. That the work seems to be going into the public perception, rather than something that is a little more balanced with this Two of Cups at the bottom. Because we've got, at the very bottom, we've got the Seven of Wands. Now, the Seven of Wands can be being defensive. It can be meeting up with your peers. And I think both of those are here. But if you look, this lady that's meditating in her own field, in her crystal ball or in her energy field or whatever that is, she's turning away. She's not interested in the ones that are presented to her. So even if they are a meeting of her peers, as I often get from the Seven of Wands, it's like, yeah, talk to the hand, the face ain't listening. And this is clarified by the Three of Swords as the Joker. But also in the, let me see, that's the DC versus Marvel, isn't it? Yeah. So, because it's the Joker in the Bugle offices. they may not be listening, but this is indicating tricking themselves into believing that that detachment and that not listening is the right way forward, because there's a lot of illusion here. If you think about it, the Hanged Man is confusion. Hanged Man here, Hanged Man here, and these here we've got the Hanged Man clarified by the Chariot. That confusion is going to keep coming on fast, but it is taking us somewhere, because here is a Babylon 5 card, this one. The Chariot is typified by the Vorlon ships, who were like angelic type beings. So the Chariot's taking us to a good place. Allow that confusion to go, but there has to be a point of listening. Listening, not stealing. Less talking, less working on your own public relations, and more listening to other people, because there's a lot of illusions being presented, Moon here, in a very strategic way. Seven of Swords, in a way that indicates going against some form of divine edict, or almost like two divine edicts contradicting one another, because there isn't a balance with this what this Two of Cups is asking for, because something is getting stolen, something is getting drained and removed, and so all that's left is illusion. And so whereas these two divine edicts should be working in harmony with one another, they ain't. But the story of this is, wait, allow yourself to be confused by the looks of it. Definitely allow yourself to be confused. You're aware that this is a new beginning, and yeah, you may be a bit bored, but you know, there's that boredom ain't going to last. But it's what this Four of Cups reverse is reminding me, because that can be boredom. But I was shown a couple of days this video that's done the rounds on TikTok, where there is a guy screaming that I am fed up of history-making events every other blooming day. And yeah, we know we're in that time of history. We know we are. Absolutely, yes. And yes, there's history-making events every other day. And looking at the astrology, that's going to carry on till at least the end of February. But what I really like is the end of this reading. If you allow that divine voice to come through, if you seek the balance of trying to see where these two divine edicts, we have Galactus and the Spectre on this card, where these two divine edicts can be balanced, that you are not listening to just one or just the other one. You find that middle path, which is, what did that symbol say? That purpose gazes right down the middle and sees that the way is clear. We have the Queen of Wands, who, as you know, is the kick-ass card of manifestation, but manifestation at the right time, like the King of Wands, but also in reaction to need, in a receptive form. And this is clarified by the King of Swords, who managed to cut out some nonsense, with Parallax on the trading card, whose effort was to reboot continuity. How did I forget the word reboot? Reboot continuity. So we can reboot this. Whatever is going on in your life right now, it can be rebooted, but not just yet. It's not time. You've got to find the void, that you've got to find the way to balance two divine edicts, two divine orders, two divine purposes. That's a lot. So I will be live streaming 8 p.m. on 8 p.m. GMT on the evening of the 16th. So I'm filming this the night before the 16th. So come and join me 8 p.m. 8 p.m. GMT, which is 1 p.m. Eastern or 10 a.m. Pacific, or alter it for wherever you are in the world. But yes, come and join. And I failed to do a new moon show, which is not true. I did do the new moon show, and it was an hour long with no audio whatsoever. So let's join me on Saturday night. We can have a look at the new moon and we can celebrate Uranus turning direct, because yeah, we haven't had enough strange and unusual stuff happen recently. Let's get Uranus really playing the field, eh? Cheers.